Shalom, people of the interwebs. Welcome to the bouncy truck. Yeah, Daddy got his fur trimmed. All right, so SHTF, we're gonna start a new series called Things That Will Kill You at the End of the World. The first thing that we're gonna talk about, other than all the things that we already talk about, heart set, mindset, skill set, right, is water. Water, or lack thereof, will kill you. Well, T, how can you die from water? Well, if you drink too much of it, it'll kill you. Like those freak shows on the radio a while back, seeing how much water they could chug before they died. The seatbelt's not cooperating. Thank you, government, for protecting me from myself. So you could drink too much. You could drink bad water, improperly purified or not purified at all water, not treated, not boiled, just, or you could live in Flint, Michigan. It's possible. He just took his hands off the steering wheel. Yeah, we're on back roads. Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter anyway. The way vehicles are built nowadays, Elon Musk has cars that will drive themselves. Not that I have one of his cars, but it's entirely possible. Love this road. We have all the roads. These are the best roads. They're tremendous. Believe me. Believe me. By the way, you guys are killing it on Patreon today. I mean, you're about to make a grown man cry. You guys are awesome. So, thank you. Now, moving along. Water. You need, about 1 ounce of water for every 2 pounds of body weight that you have. So if you weigh 200 pounds, it's about 100 ounces of water. What is that? That's about 3 quarts, 3 liters, and adjust accordingly. These are approximates. If you do a lot of hard work, you will need more. I drank yesterday, in the span of about 3 hours, 5 pints of water, and that was me trying to keep a lid on it, trying to tone it down, knowing, because I was working, I was outside running a chainsaw with some shofarians, a lot of shofarians, not some shofarians, multiple shofarians, who exemplify what tribe looks like, by the way. But I was out running the chainsaw for 3 hours in the middle of the day, and I knew that I had to basically sip water. I didn't want to get a belly full of water while I was working, because that makes you feel sick as well. But even so, I drank almost 3 quarts of water in 3 hours. So, things to consider, right? So, I have multiple videos about multiple things on this channel, including water, water carrying capacity, water filtration, purification, the whole nine. But this is going to be a clear, concise, standalone question mark. 3 minutes in, haven't even talked about anything. Roger. So, the first thing is carrying capacity. What do your systems look like? Your bug out system. For me, mine has 5 liters of carrying capacity. It's right there, right there. See that Coyote Brown in the back? Bug out bag. So, 5 liters of carrying capacity. Why? Because that's 2 days rationed, 1 day not rationed. And frankly, if I can, I'm still going to treat every water source as last water. What does that mean? When I come across water, I fill my bladder, I fill my bottles, I pump if I need to, filter if I need to, whatever, and get hydrated at that water source, and then move along from there, right? Don't take for granted the fact that there's a whole bunch of water right here. Oh, that's fine, I'll probably find some later. No, you treat, in a survival situation, every water source is last water. Having the capacity to not have to treat it as last water in an emergency situation is a good thing, because if you have to move, it's much better to be able to move with 5 liters of water than 1 liter of water, right? That affords you the ability to skip over a water source if you need to or if you want to. Oh boy, son, you need a haircut. All right, judge not lest ye be judged, Roger. Okay, so carrying capacity, minimum of 5 liters, I would say, for like a bug out bag, inch bag type thing. day pack, probably in the 3 liter range. That's what I carry on the day pack on my plate carrier. And then for your home, I think if you can, 3 gallons per person per day. So in a 5-person home, that's 15 gallons a day, 150 gallons for 10 days, 450 gallons in a month. Now that's cooking, cleaning, sponge baths, and hydration as well. If you have more, you can do more, but 3 gallons a day is probably a good place to be. And speaking of Shofarians, you could ask Brother Roger, Ozark Geek, or Pastor Joe at Viking Preparedness, or Sister Kate, Shofar Mountain, all of whom live out of IBC totes for water, and they get it done. So Squid just got 2 IBC totes, and I've got 2 on hold I got to go pick up for the Arklatexa homestead. So it is bright in here. It's making my forehead grooves hurt. Purification, treatment, and boiling. You should have some type of metal container in your kit that you can put water in it, build a fire underneath it, and boil that water for a minimum of 2 minutes. That will kill the vast majority of creepy crawlies that would be in questionable water. You can pre-filter water with a sock or a bandana. Things to know. Or a t-shirt or a whatever, some type of filter element, coffee filter, cheesecloth, whatever you got. Water treatment, Aquamira tabs, the military specification tabs, iodine tabs. I like iodine. I like the Aquamira tabs. They're good. They're like $8, and they come with a pH balancer. So after you treat the water, you drop the pH balancer in there. And I believe it's a total of 25 minutes or so, roughly a half an hour. You have clean water to drink. And those are great for if you have a water bladder, hydration bladder. You dunk your bladder into the water source, throw your tabs in there, seal it up, and wait a half an hour. You just look at your watch and go, all right, in 30 minutes we can hydrate. And that's really quick. It's much faster than pumping or squeezing water through your Sawyer Mini, although I carry a Sawyer Mini as well. So that's water tabs, water filtration. Love the Sawyer Mini, not a big fan of the Life Straw. Some guy recently commented on the Life Straw video, hey man, do your homework. The Life Straw does this, this, and this that you said it doesn't. They may have changed their product. I don't know. I have not been invested in Life Straw as a company in several years. So maybe they upped their game, maybe they haven't. But as of my last use of the Life Straw, I much prefer the Sawyer Mini to the Life Straw. And they're about the same price, $20 versus $15, $18. And you can go watch the Life Straw equals death video for my thoughts on that versus the Sawyer Mini. Katadyn, however, Katadyn, I believe is the actual pronunciation. Makes good filters, MSR, you know, all the pump style filters, Mountain Research, things to consider. So all in all, you should have a good water carrying capacity of at least 5 liters, says me, for your bug out or inch bag. 450 gallons of water storage at your house for a month's worth of water if you have 5 people, or a minimum of 3 gallons per person per day, whatever that looks like for you. You should have a pot to boil water in and a way to make fire underneath it to boil water for a minimum of 2 minutes. You should have water filtration, whether that's a pump or a squeeze filter or a Life Straw or whatever, multiple of those. You know, 2 is 1, 1 is none, so multiple of those. And then your water treatment can be water treatment tabs from Aquamira. It can be iodine. You can even use bleach. Do not use scented bleach or you'll have water that tastes like garbage, chemical garbage. But you can use just standard chlorine bleach. There's a formula for that. Google is your friend. So that, in a nutshell, is the first thing that could probably kill you in SHTF, water. Too much of it, not enough of it, or improper treatment of water. Shalom. A couple other things that I forgot to add listening back to that. Number 1, There's ingesting water, and then there's operating around water. So if you don't know anything about how to operate around water or in the water, steer clear or learn from somebody now. You may find yourself having to operate in or near the water. It would be good to know how to do that. Don't think that because you watched a bunch of YouTube videos, you know how to effect rescue in water. You don't. It doesn't mean you don't try, but don't endanger yourself. Okay, get training. Also, how to find water. There's the obvious ways, right? Look for streams, look for lakes and rivers and yada, yada, yada. But water, I don't know if you know this, it flows downhill. So depending on what your topography is, if you go downhill, you have a better chance of finding water. You can also dig in creek beds in a lot of cases and find seepage, water that's seeping up, right? It's in the creek bed, but it's below where the visible eye is. It's below the grade of the land. In this area of the woods, if you see sycamore trees, that is highly indicative of groundwater. Sycamores will only grow where there is good groundwater. So you may be able to find a sycamore, and if you find a sycamore, you're probably going to find a stream. And if you don't, there's a spring somewhere around there. You can dig by that tree and find groundwater pretty easily. So, and then the obvious, man, don't drink salt water. You can distill salt water, and you're definitely better off getting training on that than trying to do that and then get training, watch a video, whatever. I like carrying as much of what I need as possible because it keeps me from having to stop. That being said, I've only got 2 days ration worth of water on me for a 10-day bug out, which means I have actually plotted where water is in between where I work and where I need to get home to. So that might be something for you to consider as well. Where are the water sources? Actually go find them, mark them on your maps now so you know where they are. And you can navigate from where you are to where your water's at. Rather than hope that you find water, because hope is not a strategy.